What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Blackgirlmarvel. Welcome back to day 28 of my 31 days of reviews featuring Echo. This will be the season finale of season 1, episode 5. Spoiled per the usual. If you haven't seen the last episode of Echo, please go watch that on Disney Plus right now. Then come back and chit chat and talk. But don't forget to hit the heart to show me some love, because I love love. But let's get into it. So in the finale, it was a little, if I'm being honest, it was a little anticlimactic. I'll let on. It was very, I feel like it could have been more, but I feel like that maybe that wasn't the point. So throughout this entire series, we've been seeing the Choctaw ancestry, not only through Maya, but going back from the first Choctaw woman until Maya. So we've been seeing like a lineage, a line. Her mother was a part of it too. And we see that she's able to tap into that power and spread it essentially to her ancestors, that she learned from a figuration of her mother that, you know, just because she wasn't around them doesn't mean that they aren't a part of her. Just because she wasn't around her grandmother Bonnie and her mother passed when she was young, it doesn't mean that this culture, this life isn't within you. And I feel as an African American woman or Black woman, I prefer Black, but the world see me as African American. Even though I'm born in America, I see myself as a Black American. But as a Black American, I don't really know where my roots come from. I don't know where I really stem from. I could do an ancestry test, but that doesn't mean anything if I don't, you know. That's great and all, and I have done that, but it doesn't give much, you know. It'll probably be very hard for me to track my family and things like that. So watching a TV show like this always opens up those thoughts and those ideas in my head, and in my play, if I can't, you know, trail a lineage of my family, I love seeing it done on TV, and I love seeing it done respectfully, and I feel like this was the case with Marvel's. Throughout this episode, you see Maya, and not even this episode, but throughout the whole series, you know, all 5 episodes, you see Maya struggling with who she is, but who she could have been, and possibly who she wants to be. It's a very like past, present, future type of deal, and her feeling like she's done too much, she's went too far over the line, that she can never come back. That essentially she's kind of like Fisk in a way, but like she's not unredeemable. And if we be honest, I know Fisk is Fisk and he's done some dirty stuff, but I feel like anybody can be redeemed in some type of way, some type of fashion. Even though we see at the end of this that bro about to go run for mayor, but I'll get back to that, and that's so comic book act. But throughout this, Maya, I know in the comics, I believe her name is Echo. And they did that because she's able to echo like movements and mimics, kind of like Taskmaster in a sense. I don't think it's powerful. Also a blended Daredevil, but still not as powerful. But so in this series, they tied her ancestry into the name Echo, that she echoes the ancestors before her. And having gotten that realization from the echo of her mother that she saw, which that just dawned on, the echo of her mother that she saw, she's able to tap into the different qualities that all her ancestors possess because they all live within her. And it was a beautiful shot to see her standing amongst her ancestors, and then her stretching her arms out to spread, to send her magic, to unlock the magic within like her grandmother and her cousin/sister. Everybody in the family had something to do. My boy Biscuits came out with the monster truck, ran over these villains, Fisk men, I believe. They all had guns. Don't really see what happens with them. I'm assuming they died. I'm assuming that Biscuits has blood on his hands, that he's murdered some people. Her Uncle Henry, who owns the bowling alley, he definitely killed a man. And I'm okay with that because that man was trapped. And Maya, her grandmother, and Bonnie all faced off against Fisk and his men, even though Fisk didn't really get into the fight. But when he did, Maya tapped into, like, she started to like try to heal him. She tried to heal him because for all intents and purposes, she still sees him as her uncle. She's like, you're my uncle, and she wants him. She's realizing now that both of them are driven by their pain of their past, by their pain of everything that they've been through, any type of hurt. They use that to drive them. And she realized through the echo of her mother that she has to let go of that pain, that the family that she's feels forgotten her and that she can't forget, she has to realize that she's still a part of them and they're still a part of her, and they haven't left her even though they weren't around when she was growing. And Fisk is dealing with his own pain because we found out in the previous episode that like he killed his father with a hammer. And that's something that lingers with him. And if you think about it, that's how he deals with all his issues. Any pain or sadness or fear that he feels, even if he doesn't show it, it comes out in intense anger, intense being a like bruteness. It comes out very heavy. And from her, we see a flashback that Maya saw her mother use these powers that we've seen her kind of tap into a little bit throughout the series, because the grandmother told her that her mother was a healer and that she healed and she took care of people. And Maya threw like a rock or something at a bird, and this bird is usually a bird in the Choctaw um I don't know what to say, like tribe or world, that this bird shows up when something bad is about to happen. And I think the same day that she hit that bird, that was the same day that her mother passed. Then as she's out of town, she sees this bird pop up again when she goes back to she goes back into town because she knows that trouble is coming. She also sees this bird again when she's looking for Bonnie and her grand. So her mother has been like dropping seeds throughout, this series in a way of getting her to remember, to reclaim her roots, to not forget where she came from, or in the most sense, don't forget who you are. Once Maya sees her mother, she remembers, honestly, her mother um, trying to healing, not even trying to, healing the bird. She does the same thing to Fisk. And while doing that, she taps into his past. And so we get to see when he was a little kid sitting in his room listening to his father beat his mother. We've seen all this like different images of pain and Maya being involved, and he's like, she's telling him to let go of the pain, like just drop it, let it. But Fisk is is an old man. He's grown, and usually the older you get, the more stuck in your ways you are, and you won't let things go. But she still sees him as her uncle. She's like, "You're my uncle." She keeps trying to tell him to let that pain go, and he seemed visibly shook by what she did to him, because all he screamed was, "What did you do to me? What did you do to me?" And then at the end of the scene, we see that he is like, "I need all the heads together. We need to talk. Things need to get eased out." And then he sees a news report of them talking about New York, talking about how New York, needs a fighter in the race to be mayor, and I believe he's about to go put his hand to be mayor, but we'll see if how much he's changed, if he's changed. Because I really feel like Fisk is a character that can't really have growth, if I'm being honest. He can have growth more towards the darker side of his nature, but bro cannot have growth into being a good person. And if Marvel has a track record with their villains, to sympathize with them and to make them like anti-villains in a way, and you can't do that with Fisk, because if you do that with Fisk, he won't be Fisk no more. Maybe he can ease up on some things, but nah, he gonna always have to be Fisk. But we'll see how this go if Echo gets a season 2. All in all, this was a solid finale. I will say again, if you watch these 1 through 5 back to back to back, I think it resonates different than how I've been doing. I just watch it when I can, when I have the chance. I'm trying to watch it closer to each other, but I'm watching it as best I can. But I do feel like if I binged it, the weight and effect of this would have hit a little different because of how it's filmed. It's kind of filmed like a day-to-day type of episode. It's kind of like when she's in Oklahoma, it might be 1 or 2 days later, or it might be like a week later, or it might be a 1, 2, or 3 days after that week. You know what I mean? So like the timeline is very short. It's not like overly like complicated or overly. But again, if you binge watch it, again, I think it has a stronger effect. I still think that the ending was a little anticlimactic, but again, I think that's what they wanted. They wanted the more human side of this, because I don't know if anybody's noticed, but on Echo, they're starting to say Marvel Spotlight. Well, Marvel Studio Spotlight, because Marvel Spotlight was like a comic like publication within Marvel, but now this one is Marvel Studio Spotlight, and it deals with more grounded issues within the Marvel universe, just not 100% connecting to the like MCU continuity. But like I said, this was a fantastic episode. I love Echo. I love the actress. Make sure you follow Heart for anything. Follow me for anything more. Bye.